What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Classic Chronicles. I hope everybody enjoyed their weekend and is ready to conquer the week that is. And as I'm recording this, it is Thanksgiving week, man. Oh man, I have so much to be thankful for, man. The support on this channel and my gaming channel, I should say too. So both my YouTube channels, the support of all you guys, just my health, my family, my friends. Oh man, just everything, man. It's been a hell of a year, and as the year winds down, I just want to say, like I say every year, man, it seems to be true every single year. You know, we're just getting started, man. There's plenty of more cool stuff to come. I love vlogging for you guys every week, and giving you a glimpse into my life and just talking about stuff that I like to talk about. And it's cool that a lot of y'all have the same interests as I do, as I can tell by the support. And it doesn't go unnoticed. I don't, take it for granted. I never will. Just thank you for everything that you guys have done for me to contribute to the growth of the channel and the brand itself. And yeah, so with that being said, man, let's get into today's vlog. And today I'm going to be talking about AEW Full Gear. Now, Full Gear went down this past Saturday in Los Angeles at the famous Kia Forum. And It was a hell of a show. AEW always puts on great pay per views, and this one was no exception. So, kicking things off on the Zero Hour, you had the Ring of Honor World Championship on the line as Jay Lethal, former two-time Ring of Honor World Champion, going up against current Ring of Honor World Champion and a current New Japan Strong Openweight Champion Eddie Kingston in a fun opener, man. Uh, Eddie Kingston got the win over Jay Lethal with his signature Oracan elbow, and with a little help from Ortiz, taking care of Planet Jarrett. I believe that's Jeff Jarrett's son, Jay Dutt, Jay Lethal, and Karen Jarrett. Uh, Ortiz came out and evened up the odds for his friend, and helped Eddie Kingston get the win there. I need to mention this. Stokely Hathaway, the commissioner of the board of the one third of the board of directors of Ring of Honor, was on commentary for this, and he is an absolute gem, Stokely Hathaway. Uh, he was talking about how much he hates Eddie Kingston and everything like that. It is just hilarious. If you go back in that match, even though it was a fun opener, it's worth going back and watching for the commentary alone. It was absolutely hilarious. Uh, um, and okay, so next up after that, now that we get the fun stuff out of the way, it was time to get serious, and things did get serious in the form of Buddy Matthews taking on Claudio Castagnoli of the of the Blackpool Combat Club, and Buddy Matthews representing the House of Black. Oh my God! All right, so this, like I said, this was a very very hard hitting matchup, and Claudio Castagnoli managed to get the win by submission, making Buddy Matthews tap to the sharpshooter. I hope these two run it back again, and I hope we get a full-fledged feud between the Blackpool Combat Club and the House of Black, because that is just something to see. And that wouldn't be the last of the House of Black. They're all over the show, and we'll get to that a little bit later on. But what do you call it? In the main event of Zero Hour, the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships were at stake as as oh my God, as the Guns, representing Bullet Club Gold, were looking to take the tag team championships from uh, AEW World Champion and one half of the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions MJF and his partner Samoa Joe. Now, there's a little bit of a story here, and it's going to play out into the main show Full Gear when we get to the main event. But for this is for this match though, MJF and Samoa Joe worked as a cohesive unit and were able to outlast the Guns and retain the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. But after the match, the Guns attacked MJF's leg and everything like that, and they did the old-fashioned stretcher job, and MJF was carted out of the building on a stretcher. And as he was being carted out, his actual tag team partner Adam Cole, who has dealing with a legit injury right now, he blew out both of his ankles running down the ramp at the AEW Grand Slam. It was a freak accident, so he's dealing with that injury right now. He legit said that MJF said to him, don't let them take my championship because MJF's opponent later in the night, Jay White, has a clause in his contract that if nobody was able to step up and defend the championship against Jay White, which is how he earned the title shot, they would have to automatically make Jay White the champion. And Adam Cole said, "I promise I won't let them, take the AEW World Championship from you." So yeah, and then that was the end of the pre-show. And kicking off the main card, you had a dream 6-man tag team match of sorts. You had on one side you had Sting, Darby Allin, and Adam Copeland, formerly known as Edge, taking on the Patriarchy, which consists of Christian, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne. And a wild fun opener. Adam Copeland was soaking up all the fun with teaming with Sting and Darby Allin, even having his face painted, and Ric Flair was out there too, because Ric Flair is with Sting in what seems to be the final months of his career. So Ric Flair is out there having fun. There was a spot in there where Ric Flair and Christian even got engaged in a little fisticuffs, but Christian got the better of it, but that didn't stop the team of Sting, Darby Allin, and Adam Copeland from getting the win over the Patriarchy. So that was a really fun opener, a great way to open the show. Next up, the AEW International Championship was on the line as the champion Orange Cassidy defended against the former champion Jon Moxley. Now the story here was Jon Moxley, who was the AEW International Champion, suffered a freak injury at Grand Slam where he was while defending the title against Rey Fenix, he accidentally got dropped on his head and suffered a concussion, and ever since then the International Championship has been in limbo for the last couple of months, and Orange Cassidy ended up becoming a 2-time world champion when he took it from Rey Fenix, and so this match is then Jon Moxley won it again at the last pay-per-view All Out, not the last pay-per-view, the pay-per-view before the pay-per-view before the last one, All Out in Chicago back in September. And then Orange Cassidy, like I said, Orange Cassidy ended up taking it from Rey Fenix, and then what do you call it? So now between these two, this is the kind of blow off to the feud, and Orange Cassidy ended up getting the win over Jon Moxley. And if you watch a Jon Moxley match, he must bleed. Like, there's not a match in AEW that he's had that I can recall where he wasn't bleeding for somebody. So it's cool. Anyway, next up, the AEW Women's World Championship was on the line. Hikaru Shida was defending against Tony Storm, so Hikaru Shida won the AEW World Championship about a month or so back on Dynamite. I believe it was the 200th episode of Dynamite that she won the AEW World Championship. And then Tony Storm coming in, also a two-time world champion in her own, women's world champion in her own right. This is she's got a new gimmick now where she's kind of like this starlet Marilyn Monroe esque. Some people like it, some people hate it. I happen to be a huge fan of it. But yeah, Tony Storm was able to defeat Hikaru Shida and become a three-time AEW Women's World Champion. So good for her. Um, Next up, the AEW World Tag Team Championships were on the line in a ladder match. You had the defending champion Ricky Starks and Big Bill taking on LFI, Los Facción Ingobernable, which consisted of Rush and Drilistico, his brother Drilistico. Then you had FTR in the mix, and FTR also, the former two-time AEW World Tag Team Champions. So yeah, man, fun match. And also Brody King and Malachi Black, that House of Black too. So that was the 14s. Oh my god! And speaking of Brody King, I'm surprised the dude is not in jail for the murders that he committed during the match. I mean, like, just dropping people on ladders and breaking people's neck. Oh man, I'm surprised there wasn't a lot of broken necks in this match with the way some of those ladder bumps look, man. Dax Harwood of FTR. I mean, no, Cash Wheeler took a pile of FTR, took a pile driver off a ladder. Brody King just driving people through ladders to the floor below. It was just insane. But in the end, Ricky Starks and Big Bill ended up retaining the AEW World Tag Team Championships. They will go on. To continue their reign. That's really cool. And next up was Julia Hart versus Sky Blue versus Chris Statlander in a triple threat match for the AEW TBS Championship, the other women's title. Great match. Sky Blue finally completed her dark heel turn of sorts as she took off her signature backwards cap and stepped on it and put on a dark veil of sorts. And this had been teased for weeks. Her and Chris Statlander being the best of friends, and but Sky Blue in a match with Julia Hart had the black mist spit in her face, and ever since then Sky Blue has taken this dark turn, and Julia Hart has become a great competitor, a very, very good in-ring performer from when she joined the company back in 2021, man. She has improved so much in that ring, and it's cool to see her where she is now, and AEW has finally pulled the trigger on her becoming a champion in AEW. She is the new TBS champion. She was able to defeat Chris Statlander and become the new TBS champion. Like I said, all three women, major props. And it was great. It was a good match. And Julia Hart made history by becoming the youngest champion in AEW history. She's only 22 years old. So MJF is the youngest male champion. He's only 27, and she is the youngest female champion and youngest champion period in AEW at only 22 years old. So that's pretty cool. Next up was an absolute massacre. They promised a bloodbath and they delivered. Shane Strickland took on Hangman Adam Page in a Texas death match. So For those of you who do not know what a Texas Death Match is, it's essentially a last man standing match, where you must incapacitate your opponent until the point that they cannot answer answer the 10 count, the ref's 10 count. And like I said, these men delivered, man. Just a total bloodbath. As Hangman Page at one point, there's a photo out there where he busts Shane Strickland open, makes him bleed, and he essentially drinks his blood. And I'm not joking. It is a sick image, but it's really really cool and really really dark and brutal. But yeah, there's a photo of it. Somebody got a still photo of it where Hangman Page is like spitting the blood in the air, the blood of Shane Strickland in the air. It's really really cool. Yeah, I need to like crop that and get it framed or something, like print it and get it framed, because that it's really really cool. But anyway, no, like I said, these two men delivered a hell of a matchup. It was absolutely crazy. In the end, Shane Strickland got the win over Hangman Page, with interference from Brian Cage of Shane Strickland's faction, the Mogul Embassy. There were cinder blocks, barbed wire, barbed wire chairs, everything used under the sun in this, and it was just a great match to watch, man. It certainly delivered, and it is worth the Texas Death Match was worth the $50 price tag alone. And if you get a chance to go back and watch that, I suggest that you do, because you will not be disappointed. Uh, so in the semi main events, you had the Golden Jets, Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega taking on the Young Bucks for the Young Bucks tag team championship shot. And if the Golden Jets won, they would get the Young Bucks tag team title shot that the Young Bucks earned by competing in a tag team match a few weeks ago on Dynamite. But if the Young Bucks won, the team of Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho would have to disband and break up. And it was a very tense match. You can tell that the Bucks and Kenny Omega really brought it to each other. And and that's what best friends do. Like, they're best friends. They traveled up and down the road together. They started the company together, man. But it was when it's time to go in that ring, man. It ain't no friends. And they all four of these men delivered. And in the end, it was Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho, the Golden Jets, picking up the win and earning a tag team title shot. The Young Bucks, who were clearly distraught after the match, are said to be taking some time off to focus on family. And yeah, and let's see where that goes. Well, let's see what happens for them when they come back. Um, and okay, so now everything is out of the way. It is time for the main event. So in the main event, it was for the AEW World Championship. Jay White taking on Adam Cole, or so we thought. Okay, so Adam Cole comes out to the ring. Comes out to the ring, and it says I'm gonna be in MJF's place. But remember, earlier in the blog, I told you that Adam Cole has two blown ankles. So they did a spot where MJF drove an ambulance back to the arena and sort of hobbled his way out there with his left leg heavily taped, and just gutted it out against Jay White, man. Hell of a matchup. These two went at it for at least 20 minutes. It was just great. All the suspense, all the high drama. The interference of Bullet Club Gold and the use of the Dynamite Diamond Ring. But in the end, MJF was able to retain the World Heavyweight Championship, and it is now been, as of Saturday, it's been one full calendar year that MJF has been the AEW World Champion. He won it last year at Full Gear, and now he is Now he's still the AEW World Champion. But yeah, and one more thing happened on the show. I should have mentioned it earlier, but they teased a big signing for AEW. Um, and that big signing was none other than the aerial assassin Will Ospreay, man. So Will Ospreay, when his New Japan Pro Wrestling contract comes up in a few months, will officially be All Elite, and I can't wait to see him work with some of AEW's top talent. Brian Danielson, Swerve Strickland, Andrade El Idolo. Just so many great matchups for Will Ospreay, and I can't wait to see all of them. But yeah, that was Full Gear. Like I said, very good show. Um, it certainly delivered. And next up, you have AEW World's End, which will take place December 30th in Long Island, New York. So we'll have to see what happens there. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode of the Classic Chronicles. Like, subscribe, share. Don't forget to hit that notification button so you don't miss a video. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.